Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of meals. This week I'm sharing 4 dinners that we had at my house. All of these were very quick and easy meals that anyone could make. I hope you enjoy this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I'd love to have you, but let's get started. Tonight's dinner was made up on the fly. This is pesto Knorr mozzarella tomato chicken. I have had these creamy pesto packs of Knorr in my cabinet since like February, so it's time for them to go. So I went ahead and cooked those up on the stove, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray down a little baking dish and add 2 chicken breasts. There is 2 here. I just split them both in half to make 4, and then I'm going to season my chicken with a little bit of salt and pepper. After that, I'm going to take a little bit of pesto, about 1 teaspoon per piece of chicken, and spread that around on there. I threw this in my oven on 350 for about 10 minutes, and while that was in the oven, I went ahead and sliced up a Roma tomato. I knew Elijah wasn't going to want the tomato on his chicken, so I just cut up enough for me. I wanted the chicken to partially cook before I added on the other toppings so the cheese wouldn't melt completely off. So after 10 minutes, I pulled it out and I put my tomatoes on, and then I covered it with mozzarella cheese. And I saw this Pinterest inspiration for something different. It was a little different than this. And they had sliced thick pieces of mozzarella, so I just put the shredded mozzarella on there pretty thick. This went back in my oven for about 7 more minutes, and then I turned broil on low for about 4 minutes to get that nice golden color on the top. On Tuesday, we did leftover night. Elijah had the leftover soup I made in this bread bowl. I'll be sharing that on Wednesday with you guys. And then I had a salad that I just cooked up a chicken breast and a little bit of eggs for. For my chicken breast, I just covered that with a little bit of onion powder, Badia Complete, and garlic powder. You can see me here just splitting it in half so it'll cook a little faster. I'm just going to cook that in a skillet with a little bit of butter and oil. While the chicken was cooking, I cut up my lettuce, red onion, Roma tomato, added a little bit of cheddar cheese, and then when my eggs were done, I cut those up on here as well with my chicken, and I added ranch. The next day, I made these smothered pork chops and potatoes in my crock pot. So I got these thick pork chops on markdown at Walmart, so I decided just to use these. And I just went ahead and I browned up the sides of these with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm just going to set those aside for a minute, and in a separate bowl, we are going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup, the 10-ounce can, and then you're going to take milk and you're going to fill that can up with your milk and then dump that right in here. And then last, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and then give that a really good mix. I started off with a spoon mixing it, but the spoon just wasn't cutting it, so I had to get a whisk, and that worked 10 times better. I'm just going to set that aside for the time being, and then we're going to get started on the potatoes. I had a few regular potatoes and a couple red potatoes. That's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and just take these, cut them in half, and then cut them into half moons, pretty thin. You don't want them to be too thick, but not so thin that they just fall apart. And then you're also going to dice half of an onion. Now we're going to start adding things in. I'm going to spray my slow cooker really well, that way my potatoes don't stick. First, you're going to add in half your potatoes, then half of your onions, then you're going to add in the other half of the potatoes and the other half of your onions, layering them both. At this time, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1 teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and add half of your soup and milk mixture over that. Next, add 1 cup of shredded cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. Go ahead and add your pork chops. Try to get them in a single layer if you can. It's better to use a bigger crock pot than this, but my other one was dirty, gonna be honest. But I really need to get this recipe started tonight, so I went ahead and just used my smaller one. Then you're gonna pour on the remaining soup and milk mixture and then top it with another cup of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese. This is going to cook on low for 6 to 7 hours. This is what mine looked like when it was all done. I checked to make sure that my pork chops were fully cooked, which they were, and that my potatoes were fork tender. They also were. I went ahead and pulled the pork chops out, and I gave the rest of it a really good mix to make sure that that sauce was all blended nicely. This was the first time I made this specific recipe. You may need to add more salt and pepper. I did actually. This was Elijah's plate. He just had his with a little bit of sour cream on top. And then I had mine over a little bit of broccoli as well to cut down on the potatoes. And I added sour cream on mine as well. On this last night, I just made some spaghetti. These are the noodles and the sauce that I used. But I have these leftover little chicken balls that I made for another video that you'll be seeing very soon. But I didn't want to waste them, so I decided they would go really good with spaghetti. So that's what I did. Just made some spaghetti and a little bit of garlic bread, and that was dinner. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, you are amazing. Thank you so much for sticking it out and supporting my channel. I will be back on Wednesday with another video, and I will see you all soon. Bye!